Husband cheated and lied. Do I stay? I married my husband in 2016. We have been together since 2007. We have no kids. Long story. He has a son from his previous marriage. Long story short, we don't have kids because of poor choices and his final choice. Don't wish to get into details. But I became very angry back in 2012 over the lack of children. I remained angry throughout our engagement and first years of marriage. My husband had cancer in 2017, body-altering surgery which affected him and his personality. After he was declared cancer-free, he seemed to go through a midlife crisis of some sort. Bought me a sports car. I asked for an AWD vehicle for safe travels in bad weather, and I got a Mustang. Started going to the gym, we did as a family, and told me that I was not affectionate enough and that he felt I didn't even like him in that way. Prior to the cancer, our sex life was fabulous. We did it every night, still no pregnancies for almost 10 years. I tried to be more affectionate, but it felt fake and forced. I'm not a hang all over you type of person on a normal basis, and honestly, I am not a fan of being touched too much. Our marriage imploded in 2019 when my anger over no family spilled over to my stepson. I went through a depression after we moved and stopped essentially doing anything. Only got out of bed to go to work. I also stupidly agreed to let my mother-in-law move in with us over health concerns my husband had. I think it was too much too fast, as it turns out. I can't live with his mother. Our lifestyles clash, and I feel there is a territorial battle not only over the kitchen but my husband as well. I vocalized this too and was told I was crazy. I was reading the situation wrong. I never told him his feelings were wrong regarding my affection. I listened and did my best to adjust to his needs. When our marriage imploded, as I was living in a home with him, his son and mother, I felt outnumbered and offered to move to my mother's to repair things. He accepted, and within an hour I knew I'd made a mistake, but he didn't want me back home yet. 3 weeks later, he asked me to come home. I did. Things were still awkward. His son ended up leaving to go stay with his mother again, and my husband hated me. With good reason. I am not unreasonable. He got COVID in March of 2020, so again, I went to my mum's and remained there till August. When I asked in the summer to come home, he said I needed to talk to his son first. Then his mother came back from Florida. Everyone had left, his mother to Florida for doctors before COVID hit, and then she got stuck. And then I was allowed back in. I felt like I came in last place to him. I vocalized this and was again told that I was crazy. By mid-fall 2020, my mother-in-law was treated more like his partner than I was, and again I felt like an outsider in my own home. He asked me if I wanted to work things out, but at the moment he asked I felt defeated and felt like I would never be first to him, so I said no. I instantly regretted my answer, but figured give it some time. By Thanksgiving, we were barely speaking, and by Christmas, it was like we were strangers. I stupidly waited till New Year's Eve to ask him if we could go to dinner and talk, but he had plans with his mother. He told me they would get dinner and come back so we could talk, and he showed up at like 11:58, so I rang in 2021 alone and hurt. His birthday is in January, and someone threw him a party. He and his mother went. When they got back, they had plates that were put in the fridge. On the foil on one said, "Te amo, Kareem." I instantly knew that he had found someone else and moved on. I confronted him. We were still sleeping in the same bed and some woman tells him she loves him. I'm heartbroken over him and he's got someone else already. Ouch. He denied it and got really angry. I felt like I had no right to ask anyway, but I felt that was super disrespectful. He moved into his own place shortly after, but still had stuff at the house. Our family dog was sick and dying at this time also, so we had to come together for him. In March, we were told he had inoperable tumours and we needed to make a decision. We put him down on March 12th. He stayed at the house with me after that. Beyond depressed, I started looking at puppies online, because who doesn't get happy seeing puppies? I found one that looked like ours, contacted the breeders and made an appointment for that Saturday to meet the dog. We drove out to PA, had a nice ride in the car, a good day. At 1 a.m, the doorbell rings. We were asleep. Some girl at my door asking for my husband. Her mother gets out of the car and says she's his girlfriend and shows me pictures of her, my husband, and mother-in-law on Christmas, hugged up on a couch. He admitted the truth and we were buying the dog the following week, so I said, let's try. I've been cheated on in every relationship prior and that ended the relationships. Cheating is my one unforgivable thing. He knew this. We had several conversations over the years. We moved from the house we were in to an apartment 3 towns away. This lady showed up to our apartment in June also. I thought it was a coincidence and again asked, had she ever been to either of our homes? I was told no. My mother-in-law was in Florida and just came up to handle some business in Jersey. The day my mother-in-law was flying in, guess who rings my doorbell 9 months later? Yep, his girlfriend. So I flip out. How does she have the address? She must be friends with his mother, right? I mean, how coincidental can things be? He admitted she had been messaging him all week but couldn't remember the app and said he had nothing to hide on his phone. So I logged into Facebook Messenger, didn't find any trace of her, but found 2 other women he had been talking to back in 2019 when I left. One he messaged out of the blue the day after he asked me to come home, and this woman had been texting him before, back in 2009 when we had just been dating for 2 years. I asked who she was and said it was inappropriate for this girl to be texting him because he has me. He stopped and cut contact, or so I thought. She asked him in 2019 if he had gotten remarried. His response? No. So I don't even exist? Ouch. She also asked him if he still loved her like she loved him. What? He didn't reply after that, but for all I know, they moved to phones. I confronted him and he lied. He said that she lived across the country. I said, she lives 2 towns over. Would you like to see the message? So he lied, essentially cheated on me with this woman who comes to both of my homes because he didn't bother to file legal separation or begin divorce proceedings. I consider this cheating. Am I wrong? Did he technically not cheat because he thought I was done? Here's the bigger question. Trust is destroyed. There is none. He would wear a red shirt in front of me and say, this shirt is red, and I would doubt it. I can't believe a word he says because he lies, and I can't trust him when he isn't near me because I don't believe he will be where he says he is. Do I stay after all of this? I don't know what to do. I feel like I'll feel foolish in 2 years for staying, and I'm 38. My dream of having kids will be done soon. My window will close. I can't imagine having a baby with him now, and understand I will likely not meet someone in the next year who has my desire to have a baby right now. I don't care about being alone, but I know if I don't leave, I'll feel stupid soon. He won't be able to be an angel forever, and the first fight will have me wishing I'd walked away with some dignity. I feel disrespected and so low because he denied my existence. He doesn't wear a ring, never did. I always felt that he wouldn't do this to me, but he did, and now I don't trust him. Am I wasting my time if I try to stay? Can a marriage build back up after the pillar of trust was reduced to rubble? Help Reddit, I need outside help. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. In the beginning of the post, I was actually beginning to think that OP was the toxic one in this situation, just because of the way she was speaking about her husband in terms of like his cancer and his midlife crisis, and also because of the children thing. I am fully 100% pro-choice, but that also goes for men in my opinion. I personally believe that women shouldn't be forced into having a child that they don't want, but I think that that also goes for the men as well. If a man doesn't want to have a child, he shouldn't have to. Maybe I'm a bit biased as well just because I have absolutely no interest in ever having children. So I just find it a little bit infuriating when children are the be-all end-all. And I mean, they've been together since 2007, so I have to imagine that at some point the topic of children did come up. Unless, of course, the husband had said that he wanted to have children and then later changed his mind, which I think is not okay. I mean, people change their mind over these kinds of things, but if you're with someone who is determined to have a child and you promise them that you will have one, then I think you owe it to them to try. But the post also says that she remained angry throughout the entire engagement. So why did you go through with the marriage if at that point he had already told you that his final decision was to not have children? That just doesn't make sense to me. If you want a child that bad, then you should probably be with someone who is willing to have a child. No one, male or female, should ever be forced into parenthood. That's just my opinion. But, of course, as we went further along into the story, her husband did in fact cheat on her. It's hard to be able to fully form an opinion when you only have an outside perspective. Judging by the way she's describing things, it sounds like they may have been just on a little bit of a break. It doesn't, to me personally, sound like it was a full breakup. But of course, I could be wrong. Like, we don't know the truth at the end of the day. Only they do. But I also think that if you're having a break because you want to sort things out, or even just a break in general and it feels like it's over, you're in a marriage. Like, don't you owe it to each other to give it another shot before you jump straight into a relationship with another person? The fact that he was so quick to put himself back out there just goes to show that he never wanted things to work out with his wife. He was definitely using this implosion that happened in the marriage as an excuse to get away from her for sure. Why he didn't just tell her straight up that he wasn't interested, I honestly do not know. And I know that she said to him basically, no, she doesn't want to try, and she was making it seem like she was really over him. But people say things that they don't mean when they fight. That's just what happens. But like I said, you're in a marriage, you're in a full formal commitment. Sounds to me like he was never really loyal in the first place. Like she said that he was talking to someone when they had only been together for 2 years. And then the way that when he was asked if he was married, his response was no. What a kick in the gut that must have been for OP. OP's husband is an absolute dropkick. And I know that OP really wants to be a mother, which is what makes her decision to leave so much more difficult. But I mean, do you really want to have a child with this guy? And that's not me doubting her ability to be a single mother, even if he was just the father. I'm sure she's fully capable of raising a child on her own. But does she really want to have permanent ties to this man forever? I know it's going to be super hard since you've been together since 2007. It's going to be extremely difficult to be able to accept that you've wasted so many years on this person who was not worth your time, but it's so much better to do that than to waste the rest of your life. Personally, I think if she has the means that she should go through a sperm donor. She doesn't need to have any sort of ties to this man at all. And I mean, who knows what this guy is capable of doing? He cheated on her seemingly throughout their entire relationship, spanning over a decade. Who knows that even though now he's saying he doesn't want to have a child, a couple of years into the future, he tries to use that child against you. It just sounds like a recipe for disaster, if I'm being completely honest. So OP, I really hope that you find the strength to leave this person because you do deserve so much better. And even though the two are not the same, you could always look into adoption even. There are so many children around the world who need a family, need someone to love them as much as you are capable of loving a child. But yeah, that's my opinion. I think that this relationship was honestly doomed to begin with. She definitely should have left the moment she found out that he didn't want children, which was before they were even married. But it's never too late to leave him, and you have the rest of your life ahead of you. I'm just going to read some of the comments. Minutebox3852 commented, "Personally, I would leave him and go through a sperm donor. Done and done. This marriage isn't worth putting up with the stress and pain." OP responded to that comment saying, "Thank you. I feel immense guilt over the thought of walking away, but I don't know what sane person would stay." Real Y65 commented, "OMG, he's such an abusive person. He cheated. It's a supposed deal breaker for you. Dump, divorce him, run, block, and don't look back. Be someone's first, not someone's when I get around to it. You don't deserve this kind of treatment. You deserve better." OP responded with, "Thank you for that. Sometimes I do wonder if it's me. My therapist and family say no, but I still doubt." Gosbar commented, "Hiya Coles, are you staying together to keep the baby dream alive? I can understand, but do you want a baby with this guy? He doesn't make you happy. You don't make him happy. Having a kid will not change that. Besides, what are the odds that you will get pregnant? Choose you. Do not linger in misery. You deserve better. Take care." OP responded, "This is my internal war, because the clock is ticking, and we have to do IVF. That much has been determined. Feels like the signs are all pointing to no, leave. I have to figure out how. Thank you for your input." Obviously, everyone is in total agreement. She needs to leave her husband. There's absolutely no point in staying with him, even if it's to have a baby. This is not the person that you want to have a baby with. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, my email address is down below in the description box. If you have any stories that you would like me to cover on this YouTube channel, you can just send them right through, and I will definitely make time to do that. Thank you so much for watching again. I will see you in the next